Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me for this movement-based practice where we're going to flow with our breath. So before we get started, hit the subscribe button, and the notification button so you get a note every time I upload a new video. Let's get started. Let's get started standing today. Stand at the head of your mat. Find something nice to look at. Bring your big toes together, your heels just a little bit apart so that if you bent your knees, you'd be knock-kneed. Bring your hands to your hips. Just notice the levelness of your hips. Maybe even press down through your hips. Increase that sense of groundedness down to the floor. And then lift up through the rib cage, giving you a little bit more space through the sides of the body. Roll the shoulders back and down. Tuck the chin, shut your eyes, and let your hands drop next to your hips with the palms facing out. Just take a couple of breaths here. Taking this first few moments to tune into the quality of your breath. To breathe nice and easy. As you breathe, lengthen up through the spine. Bring your attention to your tailbone and draw it up through the natural curves of the spine, right to the crown of the head. And then as you exhale, let it ripple down the front of your body. Sort of creating a circular motion with the breath coming up through the back body and exhaling down through the front of the body. A couple more just like this. Using the breath to establish the mind-body connection, the beginning of practice. And then when you're ready, you can softly open your eyes. Inhale to bring the fingertips up to the ceiling. As you exhale, let's arc to the left. So your left hand can press into the outside of your left leg. Right hand reaches up and over. Inhale, fingertips high. As you exhale, arc to the right. Arcing up and over, squeezing the right side of your waist, stretching the left side. Inhale to bring the fingertips up. As you exhale, hands through heart center, forward fold. I'm going to turn to face the front of my mat now. Forward fold. Feet are hip width apart here. Let's just dangle for a minute. You can have your fingertips on the mat or you can take opposite elbow, whatever feels good. Just sway, lengthen through the spine. Knees can be really soft here so that you can bring this stretch into your spine, into your back body. Soften, bringing the fingertips back down onto the mat. Soften your knees like quite a bit and roll slowly all the way up to stand. Coming all the way up, hands up. Look up if that feels good for you. And then as you exhale, forward fold all the way down. Finding the mat. Inhale to a halfway lift. Lengthen through the spine. And then as you exhale, soften the knees, plant the hands, and bring your feet to the back of the mat. Feet are about hip width apart. You're in plank pose. You can take your knees to the mat if you like. Pressing through both hands evenly, pushing the heels back, drawing the collarbones forward. So really finding the full length of your body here. One more big breath in to bring the shoulders a little bit forward, more over the fingertips than the wrists. And as you exhale, bend the elbows back towards the back of the mat, keeping them close into the body as you lower all the way to the floor. Pressing the tops of the feet into the mat, roll the shoulders back, lift the heart. Cobra pose. Exhale to release. Inhale, let's come up again, and this time look over the right shoulder. Keep the left shoulder back. Inhale to center, and exhale, let's gaze over the left shoulder. Keep the chest facing forward, the right shoulder pulls back. Inhale to center. Exhale, release. Inhale to table or plank on your toes or on your knees. And then exhale back, downward facing dog. Let's take 3 breaths here. And down dog, moving around any way that feels good for you. Shake the head out. And then come to stillness. Let your heels drop back towards the back of the mat. And inhale to lift the heels. Come up high on your toes and roll over the toes till you're in a tabletop pose. We'll take a couple of cat-cows here. So inhaling the tailbone up, dropping the belly, bringing the heart forward. As you exhale, turn the tailbone down, round the spine, drop the crown of the head. Inhale to open the front of the body. As you exhale, bring it down. Inhale to a neutral spine. And as you exhale, let's make our way back to downward facing dog. Inhale to come forward, shoulders forward, gaze forward, and then bring your feet forward to the front of the mat. Fingertips to the shins, lengthen through the spine in a halfway lift. So your knees are a little bit soft here, nice flat back. Crown of the head's forward, tailbone's back. As you exhale, forward fold. Inhale, soften the knees and rise all the way up to stand. Hands up, look up if that feels good for you. And then as you exhale, forward fold all the way back down. Inhale to a halfway lift. As you exhale, soften the knees, bring your fingertips to the mat, and let's step the right foot back to the back of the mat. Stay up on the toes of your right foot and roll the shoulders up over the hips. Inhale the fingertips high. Roll the shoulders back and down. Left knee's over the left ankle, and we're just going to sink the hips. Big inhale to find length through the spine. Now as you exhale, lift up the right heel. See if you can tap the floor with your right knee. And then inhale, straighten both the legs, lift the hips, reach for the sky. Exhale, bending both the knees, coming back to the lunge, tap down with the right knee. Flowing with this, inhaling to come up, exhaling to sink, inhaling to come up. Let's do it 2 more times. Tap, tap with the right knee. Inhale up. Exhale to come down. Inhale, this time come up and bring your palms together over the crown of your head and hinge forward like you're coming into an arrow pose. It's lengthening from your fingertips to your right heel. Nice easy breath here. Now on your next exhale, we're going to launch our weight into the left foot. Come to stand on the left foot and bring the right knee high. Hands can come to heart center. Let's inhale the fingertips down, around, and up. And exhale, twist to the right. Right hand comes back. Left hand can take the outside of the right leg. Lengthen. Breathe easy. You can maybe bring your gaze over towards your left thumb. Inhale. Fingertips come up. As you exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Drop your right knee next to your left. Touch down if you like. We're going to make our way back to a warrior three, reaching the right heel back, crown of the head forward. Try to come to like a nice flat back here, just like we're in a halfway lift, but on one leg. So we're reaching forward with the crown of the head, with the collarbones. You can keep your hands at heart center or bring your hands to your hips. Notice if one hip is higher than the other. Draw the right hip down. Bring the fingertips to the mat now. Drop the crown of your head and let your right heel come up. Standing splits. You can keep your fingertips on the mat next to your foot. You can try and cup your heel with one or both hands. Further forward, your crown drops. Further up, your heel can go. Now, both fingertips to the mat. Soften both your knees. Draw them together and make a little ball with your body. Squeeze your nose into your knees. Inhale to extend back to standing splits. Exhale, squeeze it in. Inhale to reach. Now this time as you come down, draw your right knee to the outside of your left foot. Bring that whole shin down onto the mat. Pivot on the knee to bring your right foot over to the left and settle your hips back down onto the mat. Lengthen up through the spine. Roll the shoulders back and down. Let's inhale to lift the left hand and then bring it back to the mat behind your hips. Reach up now with the right hand, find length, and then you can bring the right elbow to the outside of the left knee, or you can hug your left knee. Sole of the left foot is entirely down on the mat, while the left hip is settling down onto the mat. Lengthen up through the spine. Inhale to find yourself reaching for the ceiling. As you exhale, bring the hands forward on the mat. And you're going to launch into that right knee, left foot, coming back to your standing splits. And then let's drop the right foot back to the back of the mat. See if you can lift the left foot and bring it back next to the right without dragging it along the mat. Here we are in plank pose. We're going to hold this a little bit, so feel free to come to your knees. Big breath in here. Long, slow exhale. Now when you're ready, come forward a little bit. Bring the shoulders over the fingertips. And as you exhale, bend the elbows back towards the back of the mat. Coming to a place where your elbows are next to your ribs. Squeeze your ribs with your elbows. Push the heels back. Turn the tailbone down. Smile. Pushing back up to plank pose. And exhale, downward facing dog. Big breath in here. Long, slow exhale. Inhale forward to the front of the mat. Walk, step, jump, however you want to get there. Coming to a halfway lift. Let's exhale, forward fold. Pull the navel into the spine and really release into this forward fold. Inhale to soften the knees. Rise all the way up to stand. Hands up, look up. Using these poses to realign the spine. Exhaling to come down before we make our way to the other side. Inhale to the halfway lift. As you exhale now, soften the knees, fingertips to the mat, and step your left foot back to the back of the mat. Stay up on the toes of your left foot. Press into your left foot, your left toes, your right foot. as you roll the shoulders up over the hips. Fingertips high. Exhale to sink the hips. Turn the tailbone down. Drop the shoulders down and away from the ears. Right knees over the right ankle. So just a few alignment cues here. Big breath in. And as you exhale, let's bring the elbows to cactus arms as we drop the left knee, tap onto the mat. Inhale, straighten everything. The elbows, the knees, lifting up to the ceiling. Exhale, tapping the left knee. Goddess arms, really pull those elbows in. Inhale up. Exhale, coming down. Inhale to reach and extend. Exhale, tap, tap. One more time. And this time as we come up, bend back into your right knee. Bring the hands over your head. Join them over the crown of your head. And hinge forward from the hips. Coming to an arrow lunge, reaching with the fingertips. Biceps are next to the ears. Your torso is hovering over the right leg. Imagining yourself, before you do it, launching your weight into your right foot and coming to stand on that right leg with the left knee high. Hands can come to the hips or heart center as you come forward and up. Inhale, fingertips high. Exhale, twist to the left. Right hand to the outside of the left knee. Left hand reaches for the back of the mat. Inhale to come back up. As you exhale, drop the knee next to your right standing leg and hinge forward. Touch down along the way if you like, dropping the crown of the head to lift the left heel. Hands can stay on the mat or you can cup your right heel. One more full cycle of breath here. And then as you exhale, soften both the knees, draw them together so you're in a little ball. Inhale to extend. Feel free to touch down anytime you need to here. Exhale to squeeze it in. Inhale to reach. Exhale, squeeze. This time, last time, find your standing splits. And then as you exhale, bring the left knee to the outside of the right foot. Pivot the foot off the mat. Settle your hips down onto the mat. Lengthen up through the spine, raising the right hand. Exhale, twist to the right, bringing the fingertips of the right hand behind your hips. Inhale to lift the left. And exhale, the elbow comes to the outside of the right leg, or you can hug that right leg with your left hand. Finding length in the spine, turning your shoulders, gazing back out over your right shoulder. Inhale to find extension, unwind from the twist, reach the fingertips. And as you exhale, bring the hands forward, launch your weight forward into the right foot, the left knee, coming back up to your standing splits. And then exhale, drop that right foot back next to the back of the mat. Right foot meets the left, high plank pose. Inhale to bring the shoulders forward and exhale to lower halfway or all the way down. Inhale, open the heart, cobra or up dog. Exhale, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Inhale to come up high on your toes. Bring your knees down to the mat. Cross your ankles and roll over your feet. Coming to a seat. You're going to bring your hips to the center of the mat. We're going to roll all the way down onto our backs. Bring your chin into your throat. You can have your hands on the mat or extend them, feet on the mat or in boat. Wherever you are, take control as you lower all the way down onto the mat. Lengthen out through the spine. Bring your heels in towards your hips. Find that length in the spine. This would be a time to return to the breathing from the beginning of practice. So bring your awareness to the spine. And as you inhale, lengthen up through the spine, but this time flatten out the curvature of your low back, pressing it into the mat. Inhale all the way up to the crown of the head. Exhale as you feel that breath ripple across the front of your body. Next inhale, let's lift the hips. Exhale, you can feel the breath ripple across the front of your body as the front of your body is stretched and extended. You can bind your ankles with your hands, or you can bind your hands to each other. Walk your shoulder blades in, press into your feet. See if you can lift your hips a little bit higher. Release the hands. Roll the spine back down onto the mat. Bring your feet to the width of the mat and just let your knees knock together. We're going to come up again, so let's not come all the way. Don't bring your knees into your chest just yet. Take a nice breath here, feeling the spine lengthen. Turning the hip bones up towards your collarbones, pressing the low back into the mat. Pulling the heels in towards the sits bones. You can come back to bridge pose again, exactly the way we just did. Or if you like, you can take wheel. So if you decide to take wheel, bring your hands to the mat above your shoulders, fingers point to your shoulders, pressing the heels of your hands down onto the mat. Elbows are pointing up towards the ceiling. So some of us are already going to be feeling a wrist stretch there, so you might want to just take your bridge and hold your hands in this position. As you are ready, lengthen the spine and lift the hips. So take this in steps, come as far as feels good. You can stay here in your bridge pose, or one pump, pressing into the hands takes you to the crown of your head. If you like, bend, straighten the elbows, press into the feet, and lift the crown of your head. Three more breaths here. Trying to draw the elbows in as wide as your shoulders, the knees as wide as the hips. To come out of this pose, tuck your chin, lower your head, and then release your spine back down onto the mat. This time you can bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug. Let's even from here come to a happy baby pose, bringing the knees wide. Staying here if you like, holding on to the backs of your thighs, or bringing the soles of the feet up to the ceiling and holding on to the outside of the calves, ankles, feet. And sway from side to side here. Keep the low back down on the mat. Let the legs be heavy. Shoulder blades are heavy. Can sway or maybe straighten one leg and then the other. It's up to you here. Coming back to center. Bring your soles of your feet together. Drop your heels in towards your body. So you're like in a butterfly pose, but you're lying on your back. You can even tuck your chin and bring your nose up towards your toes here. Elbows are pressing the knees away from the body. Release down onto the mat. Draw your knees into your chest. And then let's open out to Savasana. Tuck your shoulder blades in. Bring your attention to the low back, to the tailbone. Inhale up through the curves of your spine, the natural curves of your spine, right to the crown of your head. And then exhale, let your breath flow down the front of your body. Returning to this circular breath, inhaling up the back body. Exhaling down the front of your body. Breathing at your own pace. When you're ready to begin moving again, begin with your fingers and toes. Turn your wrists and your ankles, your head from side to side. Reach your arms up overhead. Take a big stretch. Just lengthen out through your limbs, through your body. And then draw the knees into the chest. Give yourself a hug. And then roll to one side or the other. Coming to the fetal position. Take a couple of breaths here. And when you're ready to make your way up to sit, take your time. Find a comfortable seat on your mat. So if you want to have your legs extended or be sitting on your knees, or maybe take lotus or half lotus, that's fine. It doesn't have to be cross-legged. Lengthen up through both sides of the waist. Loop the shoulders up, back, and down. And let's inhale the fingertips up to the ceiling. As you exhale, thumbs to the third eye and hinge forward. It's our final pose for today. Namaste. Thanks for joining me today. Thanks for joining me today for this practice. I hope you liked it. If you do, hit the like button and send me a note in the comments. Let me know. Namaste.